Thank you again for joining us. Over the next 40 minutes, I'm going to take you through and introduce you to the Jigzi platform and show you how it can elevate and transform teaching within your teaching environment. Before we begin, I'm just going to show you a brief video which will explain a little bit more about how some of our teachers are using Jigzi around the world. I'm going to play that and share that with you now.
I am a huge fan of Jigzi. I've been using Jigzi platform for many years.
This year, we've used Jigzi as part of our elementary free program, and honestly, it's made such a difference.
My kids absolutely love it. The visual, the songs, it's just such a beautiful app to have.
It's interactive, it's fun, and it really helps solidify the learning.
We've been using Jigzi, Jewish Interactive, for a number of years now, introducing our kindergarten and first grade students to the Aleph Bet.
בעזרת ג'יגזי יצרתי משחקונים ללמידת אנגלית, לילדים שאין להם כל כך חשיפה לשפה.
My students love it, and to tell you that it has worked for my students, the young ones, all the way up as my adult Hebrew class wanted me to tell you, up to 80-year-olds.
This year, we began to use the Jigzi Fast Track Hebrew Reading course for our 3rd and 4th graders, and we will expand it next year.
Our kids really enjoy the graphics, and our faculty enjoy how everything is structured in the program, and we just love it.
Jigzi is so fun to learn, and it helps me remember all the information I've learned in Jewish studies.
Jigzi is an essential part of our educational experience here at Netivot. It makes learning meaningful, engaging, and fun.
It's phenomenal.
A platform that I think every teacher and every Hebrew school has to have.
What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you what we're going to cover. I think there are people on here who may have used Jigzi a little bit in the past. There might be some people who are familiar with it and you're just coming back for a bit of a refresher. And there are people here who are coming to Jigzi or learning about it for the first time. And we're going to go from the beginning and the basics and show you around the platform and do an introductory session. So this should be suitable for everyone. Okay, let me show you what we're going to cover today. Jigzi.org is our name, and Joyful Jewish Learning is our game, or it's our tagline actually, but it's something that you'll see appearing on our website. Jewish Interactive is the organization that has developed and created the Jigzi platform. Jewish Interactive is a non-profit based in New York and also with entities in South Africa and the UK. And for the last 13 years, we've been all about developing exciting interactive Jewish education. And in the past 2 years, Jigzi was launched. And we're so excited and proud about what we have created and put out there for your use. And this is what we're going to cover. We're going to start with a quick tour of the platform, of the user experience when you come to Jigzi, what you need to do just to initially get set up. Then we're going to move on to the content library. I'm going to show you the incredible library of content that we have, over 16,000 resources on a huge variety of topics. Then we're going to move on to the students, how you can share your games and lessons and activities with your students, and how to get all the information back about their performance. Then we're going to very quickly, in 5 minutes, create a quick game together. One of the things Jigzi can do is you can create your own personalized games with our design tool. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do that. And we're going to build a quick Rosh Hashanah game in literally 5 minutes. And then we'll finish off with a couple of things just about the other areas of our platform, including our community area, our training options, and our pricing plans, which you may be interested in, before taking any questions. When you first come to Jigzi, you will see, I'll just take you through from the top and we'll scroll down. But first of all, I'm going to show you the login. If you haven't created an account yet, when you come to the Jigzi homepage, you will have a button at the top, which you just saw here, sign up or log in. If you already have an account, then you log in. If you go to sign up, then you are prompted to create a password and an email username, use your email. Or you can sign up with Google, which is an automatic login using your Google password. We recommend, if you want a bit more flexibility and not tied to your Google account, then you use this option and put in your email, create a password. It'll take 30 seconds to set up your account. You'll have a few choices, and then you'll have a free accessible Jigzi account. I'll explain in due course what a free account gives you access to compared to a paid for account. Once you are logged in, you will see your name appear in the top right-hand side. This top right-hand corner menu is a great place just to explore some of the different areas of the platform. You'll be able to get to your games here, your playlists, your classes, your likes, which I'll come to in a minute. But you can also go into your account area here. And this is where you can make changes to your account. You can change your details. You can add filters of specific content that you would like to see. For example, in this area here, you can choose age groups, subjects that you want to see, affiliation. I've left mine all open just because I want to see everything. And then further down, you will see the details of the current plan that you have if you are on a paid plan. I go back to the homepage now and carry on showing you a little bit around this site. So at the top bar, you will see the different areas of Jigzi. And the three main areas here are the content, the create, and the community. So the content is simply our content library. It's the 16,000 plus games and lessons that we have on the platform, and then it will take you through to a search page for that content. You'll see that in a minute. The create area is our create studio. And if you click on that, it will take you through to the create studio where you can either create your own game, create a playlist, or add a resource. And we'll come back to this when I explain a little bit more about how to create your own game. And then we have the community area, which I will come back to at the end, which is a community of all the people, all the educators on the platform, showing their interests, areas of expertise, as well as all the games that they may have created themselves on the platform. Scrolling down, you can see a search bar. You can search from the homepage. You can put in anything you want, whether it's Hebrew you're looking for, or you can be more specific on any topic. You can search with any keywords here. You can choose the age and the languages. We have games in 13 different languages. English and Hebrew are the majority, but there are many other games in different languages as well. And this number here is a number I just mentioned, 16,108. That's the number of resources on the platform that you can access. A jig, and you'll see this referred to as jigs. We refer to our games as jigs. Simply stands for Jewish Interactive Games, or Joyful Interactive Games, whichever you prefer. That's what it means. Scrolling further down on our homepage, you'll see icons which will lead you directly to the content that we are recommending or we're curating as the top level content. Just to mention, of these 16,000 games, 4,000 or 5,000 of them have been created by Jewish Interactive as in-house professional top level resources and are our most used and most popular ones. And the remainder, 10,000 plus games, have been published by users like yourselves, teachers around the world who have created their own content, their own games, personalized or generic, and have published it for use by everyone else on the platform too. So these icons, which we update according to times of year and things that are pressing, will be direct links to specific areas of the platform. So for example, if I click on Shabbat Interactive, this is your direct link to our Shabbat Interactive course. I'm going to talk a little bit more about our content in a minute, but this is a 9-module course taking students through all different aspects of Shabbat. We have one playlist in English and we have one in Hebrew. And when you want to play a game or play a playlist, you simply hover over it and click on the play button, and then it will open up the screen in a view where you can either play the game straight away, or you'll be coming through to a playlist where you can see all the games that are part of a playlist. And this is the Shabbat Interactive course. As you can see, 9 modules the students can go through one by one. Just a note, you will see above some of our games the crown image, this one here. It means that it's a premium level resource, which is only accessible with a paid plan. Any games without the crown will be able to be played by a free account. And just so you know, on all of our courses, we leave the first game open and free so you can test it and explore it before you even decide whether you want to sign up for a plan. And one other thing to mention here on our courses, you will also see teacher resources on the left-hand side. These are connected resources which supplement the experience of the course. Going back to the homepage, as I said, you can just click on any of these icons for a direct link to these different content areas. If you scroll a bit further down, you'll see the trending jigs, which you can, again, just directly go to from here. That just means the most popular games on the platform at that current time. We have our top picks, which are our recommended content, which we curate, and we change this every week according to what we recommend as a Jewish Interactive team. And then when you're logged in, you will also see your likes and any games that you've recently played, so you can directly access them very quickly. To like a game, you just simply hover over any of the items. I've like this one, for example, I have not liked, there's a heart, you click on, and then it will appear in your likes area once I refresh this page. The likes can also be accessed from your menu. As you can see in the drop-down menu in the top right-hand corner, you can go straight to your likes page from there as well. And just finally, to finish up on the homepage before we go through to the content areas and how to play the games and how to share them, further down, you'll see some other promotion about some of our top series. Again, with direct links, a little bit further information. If you just want to browse, we update this regularly with new content, new series launches, new game launches, and new partner projects and that kind of thing. So have a browse through, and there's contact information at the bottom as well. So that's when you first come to jigzi.org. Okay, let's move on to the content library, the 16,000 plus games, and show you some of our top content. And then you can test it and have a look around yourself. We have, as I said, over 16,000 resources. If I just click on the search page, I'll just do an open search here. And what you'll see is we go through to our search page, and it's listed according to, at the top, we have our playlists. And then we have, this is at the top, then you will have our jigs, our individual games, and then we have the resources which are connected to the search that you have made. So this is just the total in the platform. Ignore that 21,000 figure, that's because I'm an admin on this, but the total is just over 16,000. So like I said, we have playlists at the top, we have jigs, Jewish interactive games a bit further down, and then further down from that, you'll see the resource library. To play a game, you simply click on play. If you hover over a game cover, you'll also be able to see other information about that game. So you'll be able to see whether it's suitable for you even before you try it or test it. You can flick between the different slides and see what the game is made up of. You can see some of the interactions or slides or animations. You can click on this description arrow and you'll see a summary of what that game is about. And you can also see who the creator of that game is. And if you like a creator at any point, you can just click on their name, and there'll be different creators for each different game. But if you click on that name, it will take you through to an area which I'll show you a bit later on, which is the community area, and you'll be able to see that creator's profile with all the different games they've created. And you can follow different creators and get notifications of when they've released new games. So this is the lady Corinne who has designed that game, and she has a number of other games. Let me go back to the search page and just show you a few of our top content areas. So I would say our most popular used resources are on Hebrew reading, Hebrew speaking, on the Hagim, on Shabbat, on Parshot, on weekly Parshas, and also on Israel. So I'm just going to highlight a few of those over the next few minutes before we then move on to showing you how to assign, share, and track the content with your own students. So the first thing I'm going to show you, and I'm going to provide links to all of these different things afterwards because I know it's a lot of information, but this is our JI Aleph Bet Hebrew reading program. This is a 6-module spread over 3 stages course to teach Hebrew reading from the ages of kindergarten up until really around 10 years of age. It comprises of many different individual units, hundreds of individual games, as well as additional resources, flashcards, teacher guides, curriculums, worksheets, all kinds of things that will help your teaching process along the way. This is an incredible resource. It comes with games, animations, songs, and is ready to use in the classroom. There are also Hebrew versions of some of these stages as well. And we're also building this further over the coming months and adding new stages. And just to show you what happens, you click on any of these modules and it will take you directly through to the page on Jigzi where you can see that course. So this is the stage 1 of Aleph Bet, and you'll see in this, there's 26 different units, and you can work through these units with your kids or assign them, which we'll come to in a minute. So the Aleph Bet Hebrew reading program is fantastic. I really recommend you check that out. For slightly older kids, we have something called the Fast Track Hebrew reading program, which is launched only a few months ago. This is aimed at really kids who have a basic understanding of Hebrew, but who are either preparing maybe for their bar and bar mitzvahs or who just want to get a little bit of practice. And again, we have pillar pages which give you a summary of the course, and then when you go through to the course itself, you can play it directly from here. But like you can see here, this is a 6-module course, and I'm just going to open up one of the games just to show you what happens when you play a game. I've pressed the play button on that game, and it will open up the game here. So this is the start of the game. Just so you can see, if you click on the eyes of any game on the left-hand side, as a teacher, you'll be able to see all the different slides for that game. And you can just start from any slide you want. If you don't like a whole game, you just want to be teaching one certain area of a game, you can just go to this specific slide and start your lesson at that point when you're sharing it with students. So this course here is simply a refresher course teaching the vowels and letters, and then it comes with a lot of practice and repeat examples and games of matching, dragging and dropping, and it's scored. The kids will get scores at the end of their performance, and also that will come back to the teacher. So this is just an example of one of our games, and from the game here you'll have a number of options here. You'll get the information description, you can share it from here, which we'll come to in a second, and you can also like it or unlike it from here as well. So that is the Hebrew Fast Track program. Again, highly recommend have a look at it, and the first game you can try out for free. A couple more series just for a couple more minutes just to show you some of our other top content. This is a Hebrew speaking program aimed at early ages. It's called Ivrit Misaviv La'olam, and it was developed with the United Organization in Israel. It's a curriculum of 50 different units with 2 initial stages with 26 interactive games in each one. These games focus on teaching Hebrew in Hebrew, Ivrit b'Ivrit, a proficiency-based style of learning. And the games are beautifully designed, lots of inclusivity and diversity in here. And I won't show you the game itself, but I'll just encourage you to check it out in your own time. You can just see on the left some of the examples of the slides. Our Hebrew reading programs and Hebrew speaking programs, I said, are one of our most popular. Let's move on to just a couple of other areas before we look at the sharing. So Shabbat Interactive, I mentioned to you before. This has also been released in the past 6 months or so, but is a reworked version of a previous app that we had actually built. It comes with an educator guide, and I showed it to you briefly before in terms of the different modules. And then lastly, something which might be of interest for now is our online siddur. We have built a program for an online siddur for students who want to practice at reading tefillot. We have created a course or a series of easy-to-use interactive resources here, featuring all the different prayers within the prayer book, and with recordings and with songs and repeating and practice and so on and so forth. So all of these courses I've mentioned, I will send through a link to, so you can go back to any of these in due course. One thing we can create for you as well, we created this specific course for a school in South Africa, which is a service that we provide. If you want your own voices, your own sounds, your own songs, that kind of thing, we can build that. Okay, any questions before I move on to the sharing and assigning and tracking of games? And I just created a handful of our series. There are, like I said, many different areas and curriculums and courses, and I will include information about some other ones. And if you have any areas of interest that you need to find specifically, you can just let me know and I will direct you to that afterwards as well. We're going to move on to number 3, which is the student access, how to share, how to assign and track. And we'll just spend 5 minutes on that. It's a really simple process once you know how to do it. I am going to choose a game that I want to assign to my students. Now, the beauty about Jigzi is that we don't have student logins. You can share as much content as you want with a subscription with as many students as you have or want. There's no limit to the number of students that can be shared with, and we've designed a system such that the information that comes back to the teacher is independent of a student having to log in or have any credentials or data kept by us. So for example, let me go to the playlist for Fast Track, and I'm going to choose one of these games that I want to assign. Now, you can share this from anywhere. You can do it from here, from the game itself, or you can do it from the page that I was beforehand when you find it on the search page. But I'm going to just share it from this menu, this sharing menu here. The sharing menu will appear the same wherever you click it from. And when you share, click that button, you'll see a number of options. So the way that you share with students is by creating a code. And I'm going to take you through that just briefly to show you how that works. But before I do, I'll just mention some of the other sharing options. You can share through Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams if your schools use that. You can copy the link just to share with your teachers and to show them things that you're interested in. You can embed it within your website, if your school website, if you want to embed games directly within your site. And then the sharing with code. Now, before you share, you also have an option. You can turn your scoring on or off. I want to know the score, so I'm going to leave it on. And you can also change the direction. So a Hebrew jig, maybe you want to turn it from right to left rather than left to right. And there's many different options you can have when you're building games as well, but we'll come to that in a second. Sharing with the code. So I want to share this game with my students in my class Gimel, and I'm prompted to enter a name for this. It will generate, as you'll see in a second, a code, a URL, or a QR code. And these are 3 different ways you can share this with your student. So, sorry, let me go back to that. There we go. So I'm going to choose the URL. That's a simple one for now, but you can just give them a 6-digit code and they go to our Jigzi Kids page, which they don't see anything else on the platform. They just enter in that code and they can go directly to it from there, or the link will take them directly there as well. So I'm going to play this game quickly, or I'm actually going to just show you what it looks like for the student. The student goes to this link. They're prompted to enter in their name. Let's say their name is Daniel F. This is how you track them. So Daniel F has started to play the game. He'll be taken through the game now. I'm not going to play the game because it will take a few minutes. But what you can see here is that the student cannot access the areas that the teacher can. So he can't click on
Fast Track Unit 1. Learn the letters Aleph.
Just pause that. The student can't do anything else apart from playing the game. They can't get distracted by the platform, by Jigzi. They can't get back to the Jigzi platform. They just play the game and that you have assigned to them. And you'll see here on the right, as the student moves through, this scoring icon will build up with points. And once they've completed the game, they'll get their final score.
Well done. You've learned the first few letters of the alphabet.
There's no score because
well,
we didn't complete the game. But what I'm going to show you now is once the student has completed the game, this is how the teacher will find that information. So if I just go back to my main page and go to my drop-down menu, my classes area here is one of the options in this drop-down. And this is where you will see the classes and the codes that you have created. So for example, this is the game that I just created. And if I click on it, I've actually had a number of different classes. But as you can see at the top, class Gimel is the one I just created. And although it will show very limited information because we didn't play much of it, it will show that the Daniel F is the student who has played the game. It will show you when they have started, when they have ended it, and then it will show you any of the screens that they have interacted with. Now, as you saw, I literally flicked through one screen after another, in which case the tick has not appeared for each of these. Whereas if I had spent up a certain amount of time on each slide, you will get the notification of a tick, which shows that they have engaged with that slide. And the reason I say that is because not all the slides are scored slides. Some of them are just visual, watching videos or watching or learning. But wherever there is a scored slide, you will get further information on how they have scored. And I'm just going to show you an example of a previous one I have. This is an example of a student, Mordechai, who played the game. And as you can see, the teacher can scroll across and see the breakdown of the specific things that the student got right or wrong. So in this area, you can see how many tries they had for each different activity, each different question. You can identify as a teacher where your students are going wrong, where they need more help using this learning management system. And anytime there is a scored activity, you will see these further breakdowns. And at the end, you can see, I know the screen's a little bit small size, but you'll be able to see it when you log in. You'll be able to see the full score that they got, the percentage and the total score. And from this page as well, you can export this information into a report for your teachers or for your heads. You can preview the game itself if you want to have a look at the game again, or you can share it also with the sharing functions directly again if you wanted to send it from here to your students. Let's say you had 10 students in the class and they had all played this game, then you would see a list of your 10 students here in this area. And that's simply how you share content with your students. Like I said, they don't need to log in, they just need to put in their name, and then that is how the system works. You can share not only the games, but you can share a playlist. So if you want a student to play a list of games, then you can share a playlist directly with them as well. I will just briefly show you that. It's very simple. If I go to my search page and you see the playlists at the top of the page, you'll see here in the sharing icon for a playlist, you'll also see those options. You won't have a code, but it's just a straightforward link that you share with the students if you want them to play a full playlist. If you want them to play individual games, then you share on the individual game level, and it will be by creating a code, and that's the code or link that it generates. So it's a slightly different process between sharing playlists and jigs, but essentially works in the same way. Okay, I'm going to move on for the next 5 minutes as we move really towards the end of the session by showing you how to build a game. Okay, so let's move on to the Create Studio. We have designed a really fantastic tool for building Jewish educational games very quickly and for personalizing them. Now, I appreciate on this platform, there's lots of content, but some of the content might not be what you're looking for, or you might have ideas in your mind of specific things that you want to create and share with your students. It might also be that you want to incorporate your own branding or your own kids' pictures or student pictures within the game. So there's lots of options if you do want to create your own. And I'm going to click on Create Jig, which takes us through to the game builder. Now, it might look a bit daunting at the moment, but once you've had a couple of minutes, you'll really get the feel for it. We're going to quickly create a Rosh Hashanah game in the next few minutes. Rosh Hashanah words. Let me just click that, Rosh Hashanah words. Now you'll see on the left-hand side is our builder, and you simply drag these different items across into the builder as you see fit to build the game. Now, always you start with the cover. That's simply just a cover image. You can just add a name. You can design it as you feel. And as you'll see here, this is the game cover. We have hundreds of different choices of images, backgrounds, things that you can make really beautiful kind of games with. And these are all accessible with a subscription. I'm going to choose the Rosh Hashanah one just for now. You can call your game whatever you like. You can design this, change the fonts, the colors, the type, move things around. If you're familiar with Canva or any other design tools, this is a simple way of adding images, adding animations. Anyway, this is the cover, so I'm not going to spend time on this. I'm just going to add a cover image. Let's add an apple just for Rosh Hashanah as well. There's already apples and honey there, but anyway, that's just to show you some of the things that can be done. Now, going back to the main game, which is our builder, I'm going to just build one activity for now with you in the next couple of minutes. So let's say I wanted to create a matching game, matching words together. I simply drag in the item into the builder on the left, and it opens up my screen to build that slide. And it will give you some use cases. You don't have to follow this, but it's just some suggestions. I want words and images. So I need to choose a few words. I'm just going to grab them from here. But for Rosh Hashanah words, let's just do some simple ones for now. Shofar. Let's take an apple, tapuach, and ramon, and finally nerot, candles. I'm just going to show you the tools we have. We have Safaria. If you need to import any Torah text into your games, we have a direct link to Safaria. We also have Dicta, which can add vowels to any Hebrew script. So, for example, if I wanted the vowels for the word shofar, I copy it in here, and then it automatically gives me those vowels, and then I can put it back into there. And you also have a Hebrew keyboard if you want to type in Hebrew for people creating resources that way. But anyway, we're done. We've created the words. I press generate, and it creates my matching cards. I now need to just put in images. I'm going to just use these images, which I have already, but you can search our library. We've got 10,000 Jewish royalty-free images within our Jigzi search. And you can also search the web and use images from the web as well in your build. Shofar, I'm going to put there. Rimon, we've got a pomegranate, and we've got the candles. And that is pretty much it. But this is obviously just a basic kind of example of how to create a game. If I continue now, you have a number of different options. You can add audio. I could add audio to the word shofar, and it would play shofar every time the student clicks on these different cards. I won't do that now, but I'll just mention that as an option. And then we have some settings. Again, lots of different things you can choose. You can have 2 cards on the page. You can have all the cards on the page. You can get the kids to play it once, twice, 3 times, however many times you want. And you can have time limits. Anyway, we'll leave it at the moment. You can add feedback, match the words. You can, sorry, these are instructions. You can record instructions, and you can also put feedback at the end to give them encouragement and say, well done, whatever you like. You can write it or record that. And we are essentially done. We've created a game in a few minutes. I'm going to just show you the full game in preview. And I'm going to add some background music as well. One of the options you can have is just some nice background music. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to turn scoring on in the function here, scoring here. And then I'm just going to preview it, come to the cover slide, and then we go to the next slide, which is the game. And you'll see now in the right-hand side, there is a scoring cup. And when the student gets one right, they get 200 points. Let me turn the music off. When the student gets one wrong, let's say they get it wrong with their first go, but they get it right on their second go, then they get 100 points. And that's how the scoring essentially works. But if they get it wrong twice, then they get no points. We have basically created a game. The student gets their score at the end of the game, and we are done. We've created a game in 5 minutes, and we're ready to publish the game. I'm just going to finish up by showing you how you publish. You click on done. And you can also easily, when you're building this, just recreate that game that we just created with different activities. If I click on memory game, flashcards, or multiple choice here, our system will automatically build the content and create a memory game for you as well. And I just did that, and it's done it. It's doing it in the background. And you can see now we have a memory game which uses the same content as we created for the matching game, but you have now 2 slides within this game. And you'll see on the jig slide at the end, you'll see we have another slide here, memory game. And you can add, you can keep on coming back here, make the game as long as you want, as short as you want, add different activities. There are lots of different activities you can choose from. It could be a video, it could be a quiz, answer this. Have a look through these and browse. And the last step here before you go live is just to give your jig a description, add a language and an age range, and then publish. And we are published, we're live, and then you can start sharing your games. So I appreciate it's a lot to take in just a few minutes, but it was just to give you an example of how quickly it can be to create your own content. The possibilities are really limitless. Also, aside from creating a game, you can create a playlist yourself as well. And that's just literally selecting 5, 10, however many games you want from the system, and you drag them all into a playlist, and then you publish your playlist. And this is just what it looks like. Similar system to when you build a game. You drag the games that you want in your playlist in, and then you publish it, and then it's there live for you to use. So last thing, just before we wrap up, and I'll take questions, is just to show you the community page briefly, and I'll come to the pricing. So this is our community area. It's accessed from the top bar of Jigzi. And as you can see here, there's a little video just introducing the concept of the community, and you'll see all the different creators listed by how many creations they have made on the platform. And you can click directly through there to see them. You can also go through to our general search and find yourself or find any teachers that you think might be on here. And as I said, when you click on a specific creator, you will see all their jigs that they've created and be able to access them directly from there. You'll also be able to see they may have written something about themselves, who they are. And we have our circles that you may want to look at and join for different areas of interest, whether it's Hebrew speakers or Australian Jewish schools or different groups of interest where you can see other educators and connect with them as well. That's our community. And then finally, I'll just mention our plans page, because I know some of you would be interested in what we charge for access. So with a free account, you have limited access. You only have a few games that you can play per day, and you won't be able to use the top level premium resources. But you'll be able to get a feel of the platform. If you pay for a subscription, all of our subscriptions come with a 7-day free trial for the individual plans. These are for one teacher. I'll come to the school plans in a second. And these are the two different types of plan. We have basic, which is $144 per year. It can also be done by monthly if you only want to do monthly, and you can pause and come on and off whenever you want. It's a little bit more expensive over the year if you choose it that way. But the account is either basic or pro. Basic will essentially give you access to all of our content and all of our teaching tools. Pro will give you all of that, plus you'll be able to create and publish as many games, playlists, resources as you want. So the pro level plan is really for creators who want to be creating and adding their own content. And then just to finally finish up on the school plans, we have different tiers according to the number of teacher accounts required. So for up to 5 teachers, up to 10, and so on and so forth. And it starts from $1,000 for 5 teachers, but all of the accounts on the school plans are at the pro level, which gives them access to everything, including the creating side of things as well. We also provide onboarding training and various other sessions during the year for the school plans. But again, you may well have more questions about that, and you can let me know. And the last thing, Jigzi is a versatile platform in terms of the tech. It's built to be used on any browser. We didn't build it as an app specifically for this reason, to keep it as open and versatile as possible. It can be used on tablets, it can be used on mobile phones. If you're building games, we recommend that you do it on a laptop or on a bigger screen, just in terms of the visuals. It's just much easier. But it can be used on iPads and any other tablet. We can then move on to some questions. Okay, where is the kids page, and is there an organized way to look for the classes in chronological order? Okay, thank you. Okay, so the kids page, I'll show you where you access that from. On the Jigzi homepage, you can see this area here, the student code at the top. This will link directly to the student page. So you can either tell them to go to jigzi.org/kids, which is the URL, or you can tell them to go to the Jigzi homepage and then click on that student code area. If you don't want them going to the homepage at all, then you give them this website, and that's where they enter in the code that you have generated, the 6-digit code. But you don't need to give them this at all if you're just going to give them the link that we generated. So those are the different options for sharing. You can either give them the code, which is when they would need to come to this URL. And then in terms of my classes, it's something we're actually implementing in the next couple of weeks. You just need to scroll through to find your classes, but we will have very shortly a field at the top of the page, which is a search field, essentially, just to be able to search and prioritize your classes according to where you need to go on there. Okay, brilliant. So thank you very much. I hope that has been helpful. I hope you've learned a little bit about how Jigzi works and what is available. At any point, just reach out with any assistance that you might need. And I just recommend just sign up for a free trial. If you don't like it, cancel it before the end of the free trial. You won't get charged anything, but you'll be able to explore the full platform, all the content, all the features for those 7 days before you make any decisions. And we have a lot of exciting plans over the course of the next year. There'll be new series launched, new features, new tools. The future is very bright for Jigzi, and we look forward to seeing you on there. Thank you very much, everyone.